Speaking of solid foundation, should we get on with the show?
Yes. Let's.
Okay. Because I'm sure we got some things to say about what's happened in this most recent episode.
Uh,
RuPaul Drag Race.
Hey, kitty girls! Surprise! It's Tuesday, May 19th,
yeah.
2020. 05192020. Welcome to Comes Out Loud Drag Race Tea Time, Season 12, Episode number 12. Viva Drag Vegas.
Oh, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awkward in the time of Corona. I was like, oh, look at Rue schlocking her show that no one can go see right now. We'll probably get into that more later. For those of you that don't know, I'm Gary, and with me is my ever fabulous co-star.
Hello, everyone. It is Damon, and I have a wonderful shirt that I'm just going to show you because I have to show you. Sorry. Can you scroll down just a little bit? And it's a little cat, and it says, "Oops, did I spill the tea?"
So there's this little kitten on a teapot, and it tipped the cup over.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, did I spill the tea?
Love it.
Honey.
Thank you, Tea Turtle. I don't, you probably don't even know who the fuck I am, but I saw this shirt and I had to have it. And if I remember correctly, portions of the sales are going to the Clever Project. So,
yay!
Yeah. So there you go. If I remember correctly, though, if I may be talking out my ass right now because I had to convince myself to buy the shirt. Whatever.
It's okay, honey. We understand.
Okay.
All right, you ready to get into the first section?
Yes.
Okay.
Gentlemen, start your engines, and may the best woman win.
All right, so put the pedal to the metal. We got 2 challenges in this episode. I honestly forgot about the first challenge. When I was writing up the document earlier today, I was like, oh, we just had the main challenge. And then luckily I started rewatching the episode, like the first 20 some minutes, and I was like, oh, that's right, we had a mini challenge. So mini challenge was Vegas headdress something. I don't know. The girls were provided pieces of outfits. It wasn't very clear.
Yeah.
And then they had to make a headdress to go with it. And then they had to walk this little cute, like, runway stage thing in front of a curtain. So, yeah. And then the maxi challenge was Viva Drag Vegas. So the concept is, because RuPaul's Drag Race Live it exists as a show in Vegas where actual Ru girls... and it's a revolving cast. Like, it's not always the same 5 or 6 queens, something like that. They change in and out, and the live audience actually chooses the individual that wins at the end of each show. So it's a mock of what an actual episode of RuPaul's Drag Race is like. There's a workroom, there's some challenges, the girls have to do like different things, there's a runway portion, there's a lip sync for your life, blah, blah, blah. You can see all about it on YouTube. Several people have posted videos like from the audience perspective to give you an understanding of the show. Asia O'Hara is the hostess with the mostess. She does a fabulous job from what I've seen of being on the mic and this kind of stuff. Vanjie being suspended from the ceiling is pretty interesting. Derek Barry. As like Brittany. I mean, like, they're honestly, they are top-notch girls. It is really something interesting. If I was to go out to Vegas and it was there, it probably be one of the things I would want to definitely go see. Just because of like where else are you going to go to see a bunch of Ru girls at the same time except for like a tour event?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And just so everyone's aware, because coronavirus, everything has kind of been closed in Vegas for a while. But if you look on because I just happened to go look, because why not? It's at the Flamingo in Las Vegas, famous hotel, and it is currently they are selling tickets for July. So for like starting the 3rd of July, and that's kind of what they have right now. But they only have July 3rd through the 16th, and it looks like it runs. I would have it several days a week, almost. So there's one on the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th of July. Then they have it again on Tuesday the 9th and Thursday Thursday and 9th, and it kind of repeats a little bit. So very interesting, Um, so yeah, um, I was in Vegas, I think in October. I think October 2019, pretty sure. And they were just starting announcing that the show was happening because it didn't start until 2020. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is that our queens, our remaining top 5, are going to be put through the paces. And they are going to lip sync to songs that come from the live show that Leland had already composed. They, get to do some of their own lyrics, like recording stuff. There's a bunch of choreo. There's a whole lot of things to do. But the mini challenge is this headdress stuff. So, David, what were your thoughts? Let's talk about the mini first, and then we'll get into the main.
Sure. So I put, first of all, just for the mini challenge, I was like, quick drag, question mark? Because I'm not.
She done called it out. This has been a topic online. Queens have been saying, since when does 20 minutes to make something and put on your face make you look that damn good?
Fact. Boom. Like, I'm just sitting here. I was watching this as it went through, and the first one that comes up, I think, is Jada, if I'm remembering episode order correctly. And I'm just like, bitch, you did not do that in 20 or 30 minutes or whatever, how much time you had. You did not, because you look almost painted, like,
well, right,
almost fully painted for the runway.
I also like since you brought her up, I want to talk about the fact that of the outfit she was wearing, because that was not hanging on the rack when the pit crew comes in. That bitch brought that.
She brought that. And I bet. I love you, Jada. I love you a lot, but I bet you already had that headdress too. Or you had like something close enough, and you just added a few of the feathers. I want to go back and watch the tape. Like, I want to watch it again and look at the feathers and stuff, because I believe a lot of the feathers were like pinks and like shades of pink, and you had some orange feathers. So
outfit, because she was first out, and I was like, "Oh, are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like, she looks like a Vegas showgirl, and I was like, that surely was not what they were supplied with, and they weren't necessarily. Like, you see the rest of the girls, and it does look more like mini challenge couture. Like, so. Go ahead.
That's my big thing. Like, that's my big thing. Like, really, I'm just not sure. Like, if it's
Here's my theory: you get 20 minutes to make a headdress, and then you get 20 minutes to do your makeup.
Maybe.
There's no lie, technically, in that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, we could. I'm gonna like, it's me like being like shady maybe a little bit, but this was all about promoting the show in Vegas, the RuPaul Drag Race live show in Vegas. It was all about that shit, right? So they probably didn't want them to look skanky. to look half made.
That's fair.
Because and I mean, just saying, like, yeah, you could have thrown something together, but this is going to potentially provoke this because it had the flamingos Las Vegas logo, if I'm not mistaken, on the stage, if I'm remembering correctly. So,
Yes.
so, hmm, hmm,
Yeah. So I mean, I don't disagree with you. It's kind of like our discussion earlier about Disney.
yeah,
So there when there's a label and a brand involved, I could see that there's some
yeah.
minimal acceptance of effort or something.
Yeah. What about you? Or do you want to
No,
talk
I mean,
about the
I that was really kind of my main thing was I kind of questioned the preparation.
quickness of the quick drag?
Correct, because um, I don't think you could be that successful in 20 minutes. Like
Mm.
Crystal, all of them relatively had a pretty decent outfit put together.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, so you got that done in 10 minutes? Like, really? Seriously, girl? You put that outfit together in 10 minutes and you put your face together in 10 minutes. Like, yeah. So.
Mm. We'll see,
Yeah.
won't we?
So that being said, Maxi challenges Viva Drag Vegas, so they get to work with Jamal Sims. He does their choreo. They work with Leland, and I forget the other guy's name. He didn't really impress me. Leland didn't either, honestly. But her and her bleach hair and her dyed jean jacket. I was like, oh my god, the late '80s and early '90s are calling back to me.
It's all coming back.
So, yeah, I mean, it's the everything but the kitchen sink episode.
Yeah. It's the I was surprised that this is how they went, even though I kind of knew about it, but because of the preview, normally, they don't always talk about what's all going down, and since everything was kind of meant to be was all on stage, like this was not a traditional, like they're doing a Rue song video with like all the choreography and stuff. This was definitely something different. And I thought it was like, I wrote down that it was a very beautiful tribute. I really liked this version of the things that they did. I love the two, like the first two songs, not so much the disco one, but like the ones that they actually, I'm assuming, were like written by Leland and they were kind of like lip syncing to. I really thoroughly did like those, and I would like to see those as being part of the episode, or like if that's part of the live show, like okay, that's really cute because the whole like them like getting on the show and making it that kind of like first entrance looks. They all wear their first entrance looks, which I thought was really cool. And then the next one with the whole like mirror, like putting on makeup and getting in heels and like playing around and stuff. I thought that was really cute. Like that was touching. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Gary.
So I don't disagree with anything you're saying. But I asked the question, can you do it all? And the reason I phrase it like that is because that's really what this challenge was about. It was write lyrics, learn choreography, record said like lyrics to a song, and lip sync the whole thing. And it's a big freaking musical production with dancing, with props, with stage settings, with costume changes. Like I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I would say this was a 3-dayer. Like, so we've learned over the years that the RuPaul's Drag Race are either 2 days or 3 days for recording. So in each week when they're making the show, it is either 2 episodes. Well, it's basically 2 episodes in a week. So it's usually like, if this were the schedule, it would be like Monday, Tuesday, and then off a day on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, off on Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, off on Sunday. Like, so it kind of moves through this kind of a thing that they're like, I think they only basically on average get like 1 down day a week. Kind of, but and it really depends on how things go. And then actually, if they're kind of pushing it, they could do like 3 episodes in a week, like Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday or something. So knowing that, I'm kind of like, the more they have to learn, the more they have to do, the more days it makes sense that they would give them, like, as an opportunity. So I could see them easily doing like 1 day for lyrics and recording. And that's all you did that day. Well, let me rephrase that. Quick drag and the challenge for the lyrics. And then maybe the next morning you record. You spend like a half day on recording. So like a half day on quick drag, half day on like lyrics. The second day, half day on the recording, and then a half day on choreo. And then the next day you might like do some more choreo, like polishing, and then get ready and runway performance.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like, it's a lot. Like, even in 3 days, as I'm trying to break it down, it's still a lot. So that's why I was like, can you do it all? Like, because I think that's what they were looking for, is the concept of the competition is being a well-rounded queen who can check all the boxes.
Fact.
And I think they all did well.
Yeah.
I'm going to save some of my thoughts for later.
Okay.
You ready to move on?
That's fair. Yeah.
All right.
Cover girl, put the bass in your walk. Cover girl.
All right, so Stomp the Runways, honey. Category is Eleganza Extravaganza, or has been pointed out, bibbity bobbity bullshit whatever. Used to be best drag. Now we like give it a cute saying. It means nothing. It is the culmination of your drag. Even then, I don't agree that is what this challenge was about, because I don't think that was made clear, and I don't think that these queens brought their best drag to the stage.
Where's that save button?
That's just how I feel about that. I mean, I'll talk more, but so David, I just read what you wrote. What?
Yeah. So in the vein of Jackie Cox's mother, what is this? Like, I'm okay. I hear the words eleganza, extravaganza. And when I hear those words, I did not really see that on the runway. Like, not really. Some were pretty close, but I was not like I wrote down I put like text behind Jackie and Jada. I like Jackie's look, the whole big ass skirt that kind of, it looked almost like it was plastic, but it maybe not have been. It just may have been a very like fine finish or shiny finish to the gown. I love that kind of design. It kind of goes to her aesthetic. It's very extravagant, in my opinion. I love the gloves. I love everything. Like, I love that. And then I marked check marks behind Jada, but not as many, because while I love what Jada is wearing, and I love her hair for the most part, that's a very simple like silhouette and very just like the. Like, it's pretty. It was a pretty look, and it was a pretty dress, and the fabric had a very nice design to it, and whatever. But there was nothing else there to me. Then we get to the rest. Well, I won't talk about her, Sherry, because I don't fucking care. I don't remember what she wore. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember. Um, and actually, I don't think we. Anyway, whatever. I don't know if we even saw her walk the runway because edit. Um, but when when Crystal popped up on the stage, I literally was like, "What is this? What the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
This like I forget how Carson calls it, asymmetric ruched blue velvet, high waisted poofy pant, um, blue face makeup turban bullshit. Like I and don't get me wrong, I think Crystal is amazing. I like some of the stuff she's been doing, especially her trajectory these last episodes. But like that was a look, and there was nothing to me eleganza extravaganza about it. I don't want to call that best drag. Like that looked like it just looked bad. Like it just looked bad. It looked like you had huge ass hips, which you are not known for. Like if you were Nina Benita Brown or something like that, and you had these big ass hips, I would get that. But like it just it did not flatter you. It did not look good. Um, those shoes, those shoes, girl. And then Gigi, who we've known to come out with these very beautiful like fashionable looks, and then she comes out in this like powder blue 70s 60s like tuxedo but not a tuxedo dress kind of look with the big like the skirt that cuts off at mid calf and the big like behind it kind of thing, and then the fucking headgear. But and I get she's kind of a campy fashion queen. She's kind of a blur or blend of these things. But no, I did not like that at all. What is this? Gary?
um, I literally wrote, um, huh. So I'm actually on. For those of you that already listened to the pre-show, then you know this. But if you are not a patron and you did not get to listen to the pre-show, I'm not going to spoil it at the end. I will simply say that I created a new Twitter handle just for drag because I was tired of having things spoiled, especially when that was not what was on my mind, and I was like perusing the menses on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So my Tumblr kind of became that, but it's worse now on Twitter, I think. So
Fact.
it's easier now to have a separate like account and then to see, all this stuff. So I'm actually scrolling through it right now because I was hoping like somewhere in the midst of stuff, some people had posted pictures of the final outfits or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because so I'll say this. I understand all the criticisms that people had. Of the four that we're going to talk about, because of, she who shall not be named. So of the four that we're going to talk about, two of them kind of fell towards the bottom half, and two of them on Runway alone kind of fell towards the top, and fell towards the top is the right wording, because I don't think they accelerated or rose up and lifted themselves necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like Gigi's thing was really interesting. I thought the comment about Molly Ringwald's daughter, I don't know if that was Bob the drag queen that said that. Like, it was cute. Like, it was kind of funny. The whole look looked better with the headgear and all that on than not, because notably it was missing after Untucked. So if you were paying attention to the main stage and you got to judges' critiques and then they disappeared and then they came back, if you were looking at Gigi, like, all that was missing. So the hair looked a little messy, like, like things weren't quite as good. So I don't know how intricate that was to put on, but apparently she didn't put it back on. It was if it was fashion, it was really well, tailored to her, silhouette, blah, 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 blah. But it was different. So there's that. And then Miss Jada. So Jada did look gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to say something scandalous.
Do it.
If I had to try to make an analogy, I felt like Jada looked like the Dollar Tree version of the Black Holiday Barbie. Like, instead of having a big voluminous gown that like wows you and like is the end all be all of everything.
Yes.
I get like ding 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 with like this wispy kind of like capelet thing.
Uh-huh.
And bobblehead hair. Like, that hair bothered me. I liked it, but I also didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was so weird because it was like 6 wigs stacked together.
It was something.
And one of them had gorgeous highlights. Like, it has these huge barrel curl kind of waves. Like, and only the crown area kind of the hair had like highlights.
Mm-hmm.
It was so strange to me. I was like, I don't understand why your hair looks like that. I'll give you an A for originality. I will deduct points because I'm confused. Like, it doesn't look cohesively right. It feels like something's missing or something's not going well.
Yeah. Like, I'm just looking at the picture because I just happened to pull up her hair, and there is so much going on in this hair. Like, I mean, so much.
When they say in Mean Girls that she hides secrets in her hair, this is the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is so big and so thick.
Yeah. And again, like, Jada has a great body.
Right.
And she knows how to flatter her body. But like, to me, if you said eleganza, extravaganza, this is not what I would picture, especially for her. Mm-hmm. Someone who we know has like turned out like really amazing, dresses. This feels like like not quite an afterthought, but like oh shit, like I don't have what I need. Like, I wore something really elegant beforehand, and this is what I got left.
In terms of the gown, I will give you that. What's crazy is I'm busy scrolling through her Twitter right now, and that final look is not showing up anywhere. I'm just saying for the record, like, and I mean, she got some big hair looks, and people have posted, some of them, and I'm still looking, and I'm like, I'm not seeing you really kind of like endorse or retweet or whatever, like that thing. So
yeah, like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to, like, I found it because of I went on Google and I was able to find a image.
Yeah. So
and it just
I just think it's interesting, like even in
like
her even in her looks for her journey. Like, okay, so there's the yellow chiffon dress, right?
Yeah.
That's a big old hair
Beautiful.
on that girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, but that's not what that hair looks like. This
Yeah.
hair looks
I
better,
just.
actually. There it is.
Oh, did you find it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me try this way. Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry about the
Yeah.
reflection.
I got it.
And
I
it's
got
not
it.
gonna like
Yeah.
zoom in and focus, unfortunately. But yeah, so like I'm looking and I'm like, okay, there we go. But yeah, I mean, there's
And
like I'm talking about. It's only right here towards the top.
yeah.
It's kind of like those highlights, like that stuff was an afterthought. It was so weird to me. I was like, why? What? Huh? I don't.
Where did that come from? I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I don't
But now that
know.
I'm
Like
looking
I
at a
look at
picture,
it.
all right, it's probably 4 wigs. I thought it was bigger than what it was, at least in this picture. I was like,
Yeah. It's probably 3 or 4.
yeah,
Like there's definitely one on the crown, like that everything is probably attached to. Probably
yeah,
like a shorter black wig or brown wig, IB or 1B or something like that. That's like a darker brown or a dark black or black brown, and then she's kind of have all these other things attached to it. Um, and I'm kind of like, okay, I get it, but again, like I'm looking, I know we're talking about this. Sorry, folks, but like this is kind of the issue that we're having, like, and I think it was
right. But
pit stop.
here's the thing. This is what it comes down to. Okay, look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Someone posted on Twitter and said, "Why are we not talking about this stunning look from last week?" Right.
Mm-hmm.
So where is my there?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't disagree that she looks good in this
Mm-hmm.
picture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, I just,
Yeah. She looks good. And that's the thing. She always looks good. And don't get me wrong, she looked good on the runway. If this had been a like glittery gold or glitters as gold or um a show your best asset or something, where she can show off the fake tits, whatever. Like if it had been one of those kind of like
right.
runway categories, I would kind of be okay with this. But this is again eleganza extravaganza, and it's not there.
No,
Like I was saying in the pit stop, they were comparing her. Bob the drag queen called it like the Princess of Zamunda, um, uh, and that's from Coming to America. I'm just trying to think if I can find it. If I can find it, I can show you. Oh, there it is. Ooh, Lord! Like there we go. Is
this is
this a
horrible
better?
video for people to see.
Yeah. Oh.
Look at that hair. Where was that hair, girl? It's all one shade, but like it's appropriately like slightly more than your man shoulders and like twice as high as your head. Like it is drag hair.
Yes.
That's what I was expecting.
Let's see.
That's not what we got though. So I don't know. That being said, she often wears flat hair.
Mm.
Like she normally wears
I don't know.
like smaller profile, slimmer to her head, like straight.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, more natural looking hair.
So I don't know if they'll show up, but this is what they were talking about in regards to the like Princess Zamunda.
One woman, children. Oh.
Yeah. So you see what I'm talking about, like what they were kind of getting at.
I think that really speaks to what it was meant to be.
Yeah, if that's what it was meant to be.
Well, how could it not?
I mean, not really. It's not the same cut.
Yeah, but
There's
as
not a
far as
cake.
facsimiles go,
Yeah.
shit, we read Gigi last week for her Daphne with too much green outfit. So
I'm just trying to find. There was. Oh, it's so small, but hopefully you'll see it. Someone did this.
okay. I'm having some slowdown here. Are we back to normal?
I think so, maybe. I hope so.
My computer.
Okay.
I don't want to say she old, but she runs slow.
Okay.
Just kind of leave her at that.
Okay. But anyway, that's kind of that's the comparison.
Right.
So.
So then we've got Jackie and we've got Crystal as the other two of the four that are in the lower half, I guess I'll say.
Oh.
I think Crystal looked. Scratch that. I think Jackie. I said the wrong name. I knew what I was thinking. I think Jackie looked beautiful. But I cannot disagree with the issue about the dress. There was something about it that seemed weird to me, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And it was about the cut and the length. There was just something, and maybe it was the material that wasn't working right. I don't know. Like head on, it looked good. In different things, it looked good. Ultimately, the one thing I realized that I really would have loved is if the big ass bow, yes, pay attention, children, there was a big ass bow. If the big ass bow had the reversed colors.
Yeah. I think Bob and Dusty Ray Bottoms mentioned that specifically on the pit stop.
When I think when they said that is when it clicked in my mind, and I was like, oh, that would have been amazing. Because the bow gets lost in the material. It doesn't really stand out. It's hard to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it had been yellow with the pink polka dot, red, whatever that color was, magenta-ish, if it had been the opposite of that, I think that would have been really wowing. But I don't know if it would have fixed the hoop skirty kind of issue. I still don't know quite what the issue was with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I disagree kind of. I will admit not seeing the bow because I don't see the bow. You know what I mean? I didn't take it as there a big bow on it. I just kind of took it as a full dress with some accented things on it. But that's me. Given the concept that it is, the dress, this full hoop skirt, boom, out there kind of look. It is a little too long. Like I wish Jim were here because I could ask him about it. But I think she's kind of going for that 60s or 50s um like not poof out skirt, like the ones would have the multiple like layers of skirts underneath kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that in this, but I think the length is a little off. Like maybe a couple of inches. Because if I'm looking at a picture right now and it's of her straight on, like as if she had just like was walking down the runway,
Okay.
and it it shortens her because her feet are all that you see,
Mm.
so it looks like she's like short,
Okay.
and it would help to have some of her um shins, that's the lower, yeah, no, calves, whatever, anyway, some of that showing a little bit more. um and that's pretty much what it is. I would have liked, see now, like as I'm looking and I'm seeing kind of the bow, I'm okay with it. I get where you could come from, where if it had the different color, it would make sense. It would kind of stand out more. But like I said, I'm okay with it. I will admit that I'm not a big fan of the very simple jewelry that she has on. But then again, that's her. That's usually her aesthetic. Um,
Yeah.
but having said all that, like I liked it overall. But
So
again, I get where it looks a little short, and the fabric or whatever it is a little off-putting.
yeah, it's kind of almost like it's made out of gift wrap,
Yeah.
which I'm not knocking. But it's yeah, and like her promo photos, like did you see her pro stuff of that look?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-mm.
they've obviously been touched up in Photoshop because I'm trying to keep the
Mm-hmm.
light out of it.
Yeah.
The blue is blue.
Blue. Well, the if you look at the runway, there's a lot of blue lights on that runway,
I
and
know.
that
I
probably
mean,
is what muddied it.
but
Yeah.
this dress is looking red with yellow
Mm-hmm.
dots, and her hair is looking like
Blue.
I'm patriotic blue. Yes, I am. You know, like this electric kind of like cobalt blue. You know, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
part of me that's like, okay, y'all had fun with some Photoshop there a little bit. No offense. Queens do that, and that's fine. So, yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, yeah.
So that being said, I do want to talk about, I do want to talk about Crystal, girl. The moment she came around the corner and she went to walk down the runway, I was like, what in the hell is that? I did not take the journey that other people talked about, where they were like, the longer they watched, the more they paid attention, the more they liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were okay with it, and then maybe they loved it. All the way through to the very end, I was like, this seems unfinished.
I don't even want to say it's. I don't want to call it unfinished. I think it's finished. I just think it's horrible.
No, no, no. No, so what I mean by unfinished is I don't mean that like it was like it's messy. I mean like it's only 2/3 or 3/4 of the way there.
Mm.
Like there needs to be more. Like something is missing. I don't know quite what it is. Like did you mean to like have puffy clouds that surround your lower half that make you look like a genie sitting on a cloud? Like I just
Mm.
like I think in Dusty or Bob, you know, and Pit Stop made a reference to like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Right in
Uh-huh.
my head.
Zombie, the
Right,
genie.
of Zombie, like I don't know, like there was just something about it that I was like, okay, like it just did not come across like for what I thought the category was supposed to be. And maybe that's my
Agreed.
conflict about like most of them or all of them actually. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, it just I don't and God, those shoes. I am that is so you'll hear about those later.
All right, you ready to move on?
Yes,
All right.
let's.
The time has come for you to lip sync for your life. Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
All right, so the lip sync for your life segment happens. Yes, children, there is a bottom two. Or as Ms. Cracker likes to say in her review with the Jew, per gay math in the equation, there will always be two bottoms.
But
So not necessarily surprised. Bottom two is Jackie Cox and Crystal Method. And their song is On the Floor by Jennifer Lopez, which is interesting. I guess I just wasn't expecting a J-Lo song this season.
when do you expect a J-Lo song?
Well, to be fair, it's almost kind of like they have a staple of like gay club like selections. And when they don't have something else, they revert to one of them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, who does not know the J-Lo and Pitbull version?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That is like it is a staple. These girls did not probably have to memorize a word. Maybe they had to learn the Pitbull portion if they wanted to lip sync to it, which I'm still kind of torn about, because I feel like if there's two voices and they're not women, should you be really lip syncing to the male part? That's never been a rule or defined. So, anyways, yeah. So yeah, there's this lip sync. David, what did you think?
Very simply, I put predictable. I had a feeling that this was the two. As much as I really was hoping that we wouldn't have a top four with She Who Should Not Be Named, it kind of became evident through this episode and probably a little bit beforehand that was not going to be the case. Right. So I knew kind of what was going to happen. And when we got through with the lip sync, I had a feeling about who was going to be going home. There's only so much you can do. We've talked about this before. I've mentioned it several times. The whole, pattern and whatnot about queens in the bottom and then eventually going home. We know, yes, there are rare occasions that when a queen is the first time in the bottom that they do fall, they do lead a show, and it has happened. And I could have like slightly seen it in this lip sync, because okay, again, tea time.
Well, all right. So I'll say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Jackie has been in the bottom before, so she's got to bring new stuff if she wants to wow. Crystal, however, has never been in the bottom, so it's all new. So all eyes are kind of on her. So that being said.
That being said, the reason I was kind of unsure. Sorry.
I'm like, ooh, that yawn was not planned, but possibly shady.
Well, it could be a little shady. We've not seen Crystal lip sync in the bottom, like you talked about.
Right.
But we have seen her perform in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of noticed a lot of the moves that she was doing were very reminiscent of Phenomenal Phil and her some of her choreographed stuff throughout this season. And that's where I was like, maybe but I didn't think for sure because it seemed like you're doing a lot of stuff that you know that you can do and they've seen it before and they enjoyed. So here we go. And I was not that impressed. Like, I just be honest with you, I was not that impressed with that lip sync, especially from her.
Mm.
Like, you're kooky and funny and weird and what have you. And I would want like that coming from you, even in this kind of like very traditional drag disco-y dancey kind of number. You know, I would have wanted something to show you, and all I got was, I mean, granted, you did Phenomenal Phil, but Phenomenal Phil was character. So,
Right.
what? Gary?
I said we knew what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing surprising about the lip sync, and the outcome was not surprising. I agree with you that it could have gone the other way, but that would have been the surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge shocking revelation, but
Oh, yeah.
it would have been a little surprise.
Yeah.
So we'll just cut to the chase. Before, just in case, because this is going to be earlier than usual. Shantae, Crystal stays, and Jackie Cox sachets away.
Womp womp.
I agree with you. I caught totally that she was using like exotic dancer Phil moves.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I have to say about that. Crystal is smart and sly like a fox.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been said many times over by several queens, I think including both Willem and Alaska. Make Rue laugh. That's the gig. Entertain her.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make her laugh, which Crystal did,
Mm-hmm.
like, that can get you ahead. So,
Yeah. And
I mean, I totally saw the moves, and I was like, is she really doing that? I was like, she really doing that? And then I heard Rue laugh at it. I was like, and Rue really loves it. That's why she did it. Got it.
yeah. Like, if she had pulled off her fucking wig and done like a mullet like toss, I would have been like, get the fuck
Right,
off the
exactly.
stage.
Why don't you pull your hair off, get out, what looks like your Jerry curl mullet, and just shove your booty in Rue's face and tell her to go at it and eat it like a buffet, and you would have won the whole damn show. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're not stupid to Rue's like fascination, fap fantasy with Crystal Method. Just calling it.
El DeBarge. She has just done El DeBarge. Like,
Oh, girl. And I don't have that sound clip, thank God. So yeah, that's the lip sync. You ready
Yeah.
to move on?
yeah.
All right. All right, so it's times for snaps and eye rolls, kittens, the highs and lows, the hits and the misses. First for snaps, Damon, what are you giving snaps for?
So I give snaps to as I mentioned before, I was a big fan of the two numbers before the big disco dancing one that they had all the rap stuff in. I was a big fan of those. I really did like those. Because it's one of those weird, like, I'm a big fan of arcs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool, like, way to, like, they came out in their first, runway, first, like, walk into the room, entrance looks and whatever. And I thought that was really kind of cute and kitschy because it's bringing it all back to, where they were. And obviously they have grown so much since then. And then the mirror number, like, I could have straight up been bawling, y'all. It was very just like the way that it was done, the way that it was staged, what they did with it, I was a big fan of that one. So
Mm-hmm.
snaps to that. Again, if Leland wrote it, kudos to him, and kudos to the staff and whatever they did to kind of make this sort of pink, like fun, mirror thing. I was in love with it. So my snaps are to that.
Okay. So, mine are kind of similar to that, but it's specific to a person. So I'm going to give snaps to Miss Jackie Cox.
Hmm.
I really felt she came into her own. The downside is she did it late. Like, she's off by 1 or 2 episodes. If you're going to have an arc over the course of the season, girl, episode 12 was not the episode to, like, really kind of come in and hit your stride. That would have been helpful in, like, 10 or last week. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I thought she did so well. And hers, of all the performances in the Drag Vegas, multi-act number thing, I thought hers was really, really good. And I also thought that hers was the best delivery of the mirror number. As was pointed out, like, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, they're all wearing robes. I think the robes all pretty much match. So they're wearing these, like, pink silk satin type robes or whatever. But notably, Jackie's is, like, open. Like, the belt is still tied, but it's pretty much open to both shoulders on both sides. It's not really covering up a lot on the front. She got her big hair on. And she has this kind of, like, demure, kind of sexy pose while she's singing her song at the, like, standing and holding the mirror. Like, it was really good theatrics. Like, I was like, wow. And it was a good vulnerable line moment. Like, it helped. She emoted. So I really felt she kind of came into her own.
Yeah.
And so that's where I was like, yay. Like, she really came forward. It's just unfortunate that then she had to sashay away.
Yeah.
So
she gave a lot of, she gave a lot of heart. Like, there was that, I saw that very much in that scene. You saw, like, I like the vulnerability that we got there.
Yeah.
And I think unlike, this is going to be, I don't know all their stories, but unlike the other queens, we've learned of her story. We know that, her mother doesn't know she does drag, and, they're not really 100%, on board with all this is going on. They don't know that she's on the show, those kind of things.
Right.
And that kind of goes to show, like, the point of the song was very much kind of hitting those notes for her. So it definitely made sense. So I agree with you 100%. Like, she has had a very interesting story. And again, I agree with you that she maybe should have, if only we had gotten this a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Which gets us to the eye rolls. Now, I don't want you to sprain yourself, Damon. But I know some hard eye rolls are coming.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to just kind of start with the general big one, like Eleganza Wear. Like, I'm just like looking for it, looking around. I don't see it really on this particular runway.
Fuck, I need some opera glasses.
I have seen. I can't wait to see how this happens. Anyway, but yeah, that's my big one, because it just to me was just like, again, as I mentioned, like, I didn't see a lot of eleganza, extravaganza in this runway. And then, so we talked about Crystal a lot, and I've mentioned her shoes. And I'm mentioning them again because what the fuck are you wearing on your feet? Like, they are thick-heeled, booty kind of looking shoes. And they're solid. They're not quite, they're kind of falling into that biscuit basket that Raven and Raja always talk about, but they are just so just disappointing. They look really comfortable. and I bet they are. But it just seemed like, well, okay, we'll put it like this. So we heard that Widow Von Du for a long, like her shoes that she was wearing were particular because she was always ready to lip sync for her life. Like she would have been ready, she could have danced in them, blah blah blah. So
Okay.
she had these biscuit basket ugly ass shoes that she wore because that was her plan. This is your eleganza extravaganza. You have made it to like near the end. You're go headed. You're in top five. You're supposed to go to the top four, and you put these on. And you've not had the greatest shoes for a while. Just put it out there. But these are just like these are shoes that you give like a girl that's trying to learn how to walk in heels. As a matter of fact, it probably is a shoe that you would give a girl to walk in heels. Like, I got heels, daddy. No, you don't. I mean, there's a heel, but that's like a boot heel. That's like I'm going to clomp around on the runway with it. That is not a shoe to wear. No, ma'am. No, just, ugh. It kind of goes with the rest of the outfit. It's kind of tragic.
Mm.
Eye rolls. Gary.
So my eye rolls are for choreo misdirects.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting real tired of this edit shit in this reality show production stuff about, oh, she don't know how to dance. Look how much she learned. No, girl. Gigi knows how to move. Not buying it. Jada knows how to move. Not buying it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Jackie, on the other hand, ooh, girl. They weren't lying when they were like, oh, look, your dad's here. God bless her.
I love that line.
She's a camp comedy queen, musical queen. She is not a dancer. God love her. Like, she is in the realm of Varla Jean Merman and the Tupperware, like, you know, drag queen of the year. You know what I mean? Like that kind of realm. She's perfect in that area, but she is not a dancer.
She is not a dancer.
Even if she got a jiggly booty, you know, like just, that was an interesting moment with Jamal. I was like, oh, Jamal's an ass man. Got it. Anyways, it was just so, but I'm just really frustrated because I felt like the choreo, like what we saw of it was giving us a certain impression. And yet again, then when we actually see what gets produced, I'm like, hold up. None, like half, 3/4, 2/3, somewhere above 55% of this was not shown. So,
and that's one of my other things too. Like, I hate to say it, like I feel you. Like, we heard all of it through the whole thing. Like, oh, she's not going well, and like you get the looks at the girls, and like, oh, she's so, like they're laughing at each other and all this shit, and then they pull it all together. There's not a misstep. There's not a like someone getting it odd and or wrong or whatever. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm yawning so much.
Oh, this lady. I mean, but and the reality is that like Leland said something really good. I will say this: may she get new hair, may she get a new jacket. I'm just saying. Seems like a nice boy. But the reality is, Leland did really good to be like, okay, let's get better. Like get the nerves out, get the crap out of the way. You're not gonna hit it out of the park the first go round. Like, that was kind of some of the advice, and I appreciated that made the edit to show that, like, you know, when you first step up to the microphone, you're going to be like, you know, just, like, kind of making mistakes and goofing shit up. And, like, the goal is you only have so much time. You're going to have so many takes. Improve. Get better.
Yeah.
I mean, because he flat out said at one point, and, you know, that was another misdirect about Jada. It was like, just keep going, because if you don't, we're going to give you a bad take, because that's all we got to work with. And I was like, ooh, she done said it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But my eye rolls are for the choreo Mr. X. I really feel like the way they kind of gave the impression and everything, it was
Yeah.
like there was not going to be all that much. I mean, hell, even Crystal was like, he's like, okay, that's it. And she's like, that's it? And he's like, yeah, that's it. Like, it was a really kind of funny moment
Yeah.
because it was almost like she was being judgmental. Like, oh, all right, fine. Like, if you don't think I can handle more, like, that's the way it played off in the edit. And I was kind of like, girl, shut your ass up and sit down.
Mm-hmm.
But, then come to find out it's like, oh, well, they've got all these group numbers of things
Yeah.
to learn with props and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And none of that was shown. So I was like, okay, I get it. Like, it's a show and it's only, an hour and 3 fucking minutes long without commercials, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's that. 12 episodes down. Let's talk about what we discussed in post-show last week, shall we?
Sure.
Before we wrap up, just real quick, Damon and I had a very extensive post-show conversation. Some of it made it to the patron edition, and some of it did not. We had this big debate back and forth about what was going to finally happen in the last couple of episodes, and lo and behold, it was what it was always meant to be.
Kind of, yeah.
By that I mean there will be 14 episodes. That has not changed.
Yeah.
This coming Friday is the reunited episode.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how that's going to work. But apparently it's already been pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Recently. So I'm imagining some crazy kind of like Zoom session.
Yeah, so essentially they called it Reunited at Home. So they're kind of going along with the Alone Together like hashtag that's been showing up with if you watch the show on VH1 and you watch it live, you've been getting a lot of these like promos of like Ross and Carson and Michelle and Peppermint like talking about like being at home, staying at home, finding stuff to do, et cetera, et cetera. Like there's several of these like little promos. And so to do the finale, well, the reunited, at least they are doing a, they called it, I think they're calling it Reunited at Home.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the queens coming together. I'm assuming like either a bunch of Zoom calls or I'm hoping not a big Zoom call because that would not make sense because they usually do interviews with the queens like separately, like the bottom ones, and then the individuals, or they could all do a big Zoom call because it could be like the reunited, like where they're all sitting on the stage like they've done in recent years.
Right. They usually seem to split the cast up in halves, and it's by order of elimination.
Mm-hmm.
So like the first 6 or 7 or whatever that get eliminated are kind of in one group, and then you go to the other group and then bring everybody together, whatever. So yeah, so there's going to be that episode, and then we're moving on to the finale, which is episode 14. Supposedly it will be the top 3. Shocker. Not really by any means. Because somebody got their ass disqualified. So there's only going to be 3 queens. Perhaps the quarantine, like COVID, was a blessing for them to figure out how the hell they were going to make that work. Because otherwise they would have had to bring back presumably Jackie.
Yeah.
As a top 4. Which I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been mad about that.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of the way I feel about it.
Yeah. So we're going to have the top 3. There's going to be a miscongeniality. It should go to Heidi. Duh. I'm just saying. And then Nina West is going to be there. And
yeah. They're going to do something in regards to a lip sync.
Yeah, Evie Oddly's going to be there. There's going to be a crowning. Something. I'd be curious to know if they taped multiple crownings. like I would be really curious if they did 3 takes of the winning crowning. So literally when it airs, per the most recent tradition, is when the queen actually finds out they won. So like meaning Jada got a win, Crystal got the win, and then Gigi got the win. Like all 3 of them got to quote unquote experience winning for the sake of the camera. This camera. But I don't know, like I'm also intrigued because I thought, well, if you're going to do this right and you've planned it correctly, you could have done a couple different things. You could have asked the queens to make a full-blown production number to be filmed without special effects. Like help them obtain a space locally, like a warehouse or a theater with a stage or something. You could also have them all like live record themselves like lip syncing to the exact same song, and you get to edit 3 of them happening all at the same time. Like I think there's really some potential for a couple of things that could happen in the finale.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, but you know, you and I had this big discussion, you know, after in post show last week about like how many more freaking episodes are there? Like you know, is it 13? Is it 14? Are we skipping a week? Like, what the hell are we doing? And then at the end, it was like, oh no, everything's kind of normal.
No.
So
Nope, it's all going to be the same. We're going to get 2 more episodes. Which, when listening to the promo for this last episode, you now realize when they say 2 episodes remaining, they don't mean that episode and then the next ones. They mean, or maybe they mean that episode and the next one and then the finale, not after those 2. Like after this one, there's 2 more. Either way.
right.
Either way, there's no break for Gary and I.
Yeah. So
Because
I mean that. Yeah. Oh, there's really nothing more to say about that. So, anyways, there will be 2 more episodes of COLDR for season 12. That's what it comes down to, kids.
bing.
We're probably gonna have a special guest for the finale.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then, yeah. So there's that. Speaking of things that you can rely on, you can go visit our website, cubsoutloud.com. You can also send us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. You can give us a call, 361-COL-TALK. That's COLTALK. 361-265-8255. If you want to, you can pretty much find us anywhere online, typing in Cubs Out Loud as one word, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that kind of jazz. If you want to get on the chit chat, so we have this thing called Telegram. It's like Facebook Messenger, as I always say, but better. So there's like, you can create your own private chats. You can have channel groups. We created a group for COL Drag Race. So if you want to join it, you can go to tinyurl. That's TINYURL .com/ and then TELEGRAM-COLDR. Put that into a browser, internet browser, and then it'll help pull up, and then you can get right in. See, look at Damon's.
Look, this is our chat. Look at our chat. Look at this.
And we put all sorts of things in it. Like I tend to post about stuff. There was that Todrick look. There's that thing about I can't wait to see how this turns out. So like I try to post things in, especially like news stuff. The general rule for us on the Telegram chat is no spoilers for 48 hours once the episode airs.
Yeah.
We might change that for the finale. Maybe 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like just a 1-day moratorium.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. And that's just like to keep from spoiling it for other people. And then after that, it's kind of a free for all, but it's pretty much all things like kind of related to drag in a way. So there's that. Sorry, I'm tired. It's late. If you want to support us, you can do it in 2 ways. You can go to cubsoutloud.com/ go to zazzle.com/ cubsoutloud. Wow, I'm really tired. And you can get some merch. I did not grab my Drag Race stuff. But we do have fun shirts like this one that says "Consent is my foreplay," and this one is a paw and the bear pride thing. And I just realized if we wanted to make a new design, we could probably do one with like a crown and some like drag colors. I don't know if drag queens have a pride flag though. I'll have to think on that.
I don't know.
But we've got paw print. We've got a heart for leather and leather pride colors. We've got pup with a bone and trans. So it's a fun shirt. I actually did not realize one day I wore this out when I was with my dad. We were grocery shopping. Okay. There's nothing wrong with the message. I just was like, well, this was not quite the intended audience. But so you could do that. You could also go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/cubsoutloud and become a patron for as little as $1 a month. You would basically get the unedited cuts of all of our episodes. So the regular episodes that we do pretty much every Sunday, as well as the drag race stuff. So what happens is in the regular, all you get is just the show, but we typically have pre-show and post-show stuff. And that's what I mean by unedited. So like you get to hear the banter and the discussion a little bit behind the scenes. You missed a whole bunch of stuff we talked about today. Patrons, if you're thirsty, you're welcome. You didn't get to see anything, but you heard us talk about it. And you can go on iTunes. You could rate us. Google Play Podcasts. You can subscribe, give us 5 stars, comment, all that kind of jazz. We greatly appreciate it. Spotify, you can subscribe. Damon, if they want to get in touch with you, where would they find you online?
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79 on most bear-related sites, or you can find me as pup_Umbra on Twitter.
I can pretty much be found anywhere online as Gerber73, as I was discussing earlier. I'm on Twitter, so I have Gerber73, which I don't really do much with. Then I have Gerber73XXX, which is like the replacement for Tumblr, so that's all about porn, and it's not my porn. Y'all calm down. And then I made a new one, which is Gerber73 Drag. So it's like pretty much just me following all the Rue girls and that kind of stuff. And I don't know if I'm really going to like retweet a whole lot necessarily, but it's a good way for me to kind of filter and see specifically that content. And what I like about it, honestly, is now like when I scroll through it, it's pretty much like the queens that I like to follow. And I like seeing them like cross-supporting and promoting each other and what they're doing, their endeavors and that. So good for my mental health. And that's pretty much it. We're down to the final 3 in the season.
3.
So we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. Hold on to your wigs, honeys. Oh, my nose is itchy.
Oh.
What does that mean? I'm going to kiss a fool, I think. From a social distance? How do I do that? Anyways. Oh, thanks, I think. That makes you the fool, girl. Act a fool. Act a fool.
Damn.
In a couple weeks. That's all we're going to hear. Word.
No.
I know. Someone got to go home.
Can't hardly.
That's it. I'm going to play American, which is the outro for the season. Y'all, if you haven't, it's primary voting season. A lot of them, the primaries were like moved. Make sure you register to vote. Damn it.
Yeah.
Get your voice heard. Change this nation.
Change this nation.
Somebody got to get this ship outright and going in the right direction. For the love of everything.
Like you do. I'm American, American, American. I am American, American. Red, white, and blue. I am American, American, American. I am American, American. Just like you do.
Bye.
Bye-bye.